All right. Take it away, Mike.
Oh, hi from Cigarfest 2010. Walt and Mike from Stogie Review. Go figure. You know, you're at the site. But anyway, first day. Well, I guess pre-day, I guess you could call it, for Cigarfest. And my first one. I've never been here before, and it's been interesting so far, I can say. Had a big drive up here, but then hell, I can't remember what the hell we did today, Walt. What? Wow, I haven't been drinking either, people.
Well, I brought my flip cam. I wanted to do sort of like behind the scenes. This is the whole, shebang, and we record, a little bit of banter in the car, and then when we got to the base motel, and then when we started bouncing around, but it didn't really work out. So here we are. We're sitting in our hotel room, just hanging out, having one last cigar, and just going to recap on the day more or less. This is cigar number 5 for me.
5, yeah, I think.
And it's going to be I'll leave a Connecticut Reserve. The camera's way over there. I'm not going to get up and show it to you.
Zoom in at home.
If I had my remote, we could do that from here, but of course I forgot it. So, first things first. Mike left his house at about 9 o'clock, and I expected him at my place around 11 to head on up here. Traffic was great. He ended up making good time. We ended up leaving my house at about 10:30. Traffic was great up here. We were here by noon, and originally we anticipated on being here at about 1:30, or I'm sorry, 1 o'clock. Get checked in, grab lunch, and then we were going to meet Jason he's on Facebook, and he's been a long time viewer of the site. And we ended up getting in early, so we were just sort of hanging out. And I talked to John Huber, who wanted to, who was going to give me some time to sit down and do an interview. And so it worked out really well because John had just gotten into Cigarfest, so he had some free time while they were setting up the booth. So we hopped in the car, ran down to Split Rock, talked to John for a little bit, got a chance to smoke the new La Traviata Maduro, which I really, really liked. I'm a big fan of the La Traviata to begin with. I mean, I buy fistfuls of them every time I go to my local shop, and unless, of course, he runs out, at which point I just wait until he gets them back in stock again. But I've smoked it. I've had to have smoked at the very least 2 boxes of the Robusto size alone, and I enjoyed the Maduro more than I enjoyed the standard La Traviata line. I don't know whether you felt the same way.
Oh, I really like that La Traviata Madura that they're going to be bringing out that was excellent. It was not, it was along the same body line as the regular La Traviata, except you had thrown in the broadleaf Maduro wrapper, and it just gave it a nice sweetness, like chocolatey taste to it. And I've gone through, probably 2 boxes or so of the La Traviata myself. But now I do the Toro size, whatever the hell that, Radiante? I don't know. I can't remember what the hell it is. You can find out at home. But that's the one I smoke a lot of. But this, they were Robustos that we had, and they were, wow, really, really good. I might play a Brian Hewitt and see if I can weasel another one out of him tomorrow.
So after we talked to John, we headed over to meet Jason. As I mentioned, he's a long-time visitor of the site, and he's on Facebook. And he was a tremendous host. I don't know. He was incredibly generous with a lot of cigars that neither of us have had. Yeah. We sat down in his man cave for, I don't know, what were there, 3 hours?
2-3 hours, yeah.
And then had a great time. Nice, comfortable, big leather chairs. It was great.
You would be jealous.
And not like this, circa 1970 floral print chair that I'm in right now. But from Jason's place, we ran back over to Cigarfest, and or back over to Split Rock, for the Man of War event, and I kind of knew what I was getting into. You know, I've done the Man of War event last year. Basically, it's a room full of people. They usually have a couple of half barrels of Yingling until they free until they run out. They've got a couple of models. AJ Fernandez is rolling cigars, taking pictures, signing autographs, and that's pretty much it. You're corralled into this smaller area of the convention floor. Everything else is roped off the security so that you can't get back to where you're going to be tomorrow. And
big ass fans, big ass floor fans everywhere.
What do you see tomorrow when they have those on scaffolding in front of a garage door?
It's like one of those you don't want to bring a kid in there. Anyway, yeah. Now that was my first. You know, like I said, this is my first Cigar Fest. So like that Man of War event, it was okay. It was almost like a local store event that you would go to, except, you know, like quadruple the number of people trying to cram into a little space and take your cigar selection down to like 3 things, you know. You didn't really get to see a whole lot just because of the amount of people that were there. It was even hard for me to try to get pictures. It was, but anyway, I mean, it was all right, but I was hoping for a little more structure, maybe. Or I was thinking there would be more, you know, like tables set up for people to sit, and you know, maybe you could go up and talk to them or whatever. But I was kind of shocked about that. Like I said, this is my first event, so anyway, go ahead. I'll let you know, I butt in.
You know, essentially it was pretty much what I expected. Room full of people, really smoky, and that pretty much describes it. Room full of people, smoky atmosphere. You know, the free beer was nice. They had samplers for sale and whatnot. We met up with DM Jones from Twitter.
Yeah. David Keith.
Yeah, Keith 1911, and Vern.
Terrible with names.
Vern, right?
Might be. There were 2 other people, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember your name. I'm awful with names.
So we met up with those guys at the Man of War event. We weren't there very long. They went to grab something to eat. We went to grab something to eat. I had the worst pizza ever. You didn't mind yours. Mine was just like this greasy nastiness.
Yeah. You get pepperoni on that pizza, and it's just like they just took a bottle of grease and just dumped it right on. Yeah, sorry, it was funny.
So, so after the terrible pizza, we ended up going down to the Rocky Patel event. We actually got there about half hour, 45 minutes before it started.
Yeah.
We met up with Old Pirate and a whole bunch of his friends. We were hanging out there for a while. Keith and DM Jones were there as well. We got together with those. We got together with those guys. We were there for what, 2 hours or something, yeah. And old age is kicking in. I'm tired already. It's not even 10 p.m. and I'm ready to go to sleep.
See, and now I had higher expectations for like the Rocky Patel event too. And it was, I mean, Rocky Patel walked in and people would, you know, run up to him and ask him to sign this, take a picture, do this, do that, you know, shake his hand. And then once he got to his little area, that's all you saw of him. And I think is what it was. I think they were saying, like, if you would go up and buy the sampler pack, he was up there because he would sign it, you know, when you would buy it. But they had a band. But how do you explain it? The band was kind of like in a tent, and they didn't open up the tent until 9.
Yeah, band didn't start playing until about 9.
Yeah.
But that was exactly what I expected too. Same as last year. I mean, you know, Rocky Patel wanders around. Some of the other manufacturers go, but I didn't see any of them, you know, before we left. It's and it is an absolute nightmare for parking. I told Mike before we even got there that the chances are really good that we're going to have to find a creative parking spot or create a creative parking spot. I mean, it's lucky we even made it out of the parking lot before everything shut down, because I mean there was a pathway about this wide to get the SUV through, and I'm amazed we didn't sideswipe the cars to get out.
It was tight. And then, well, when we got a parking space when we were there, and it was like, oh, cool. Well, when we came out, we had to go through that tiny little hole that was there because everybody decided to park and block off every single way you could get out of this parking lot. So we had no way out except to go up this. Oh yeah, that was tight. That was a tight fit.
Yeah, and and the Rocky Patel party is I mean, there's a big bar in the center, overpriced drinks. A little glass of Pepsi cost me $2. They had some food and stuff like that around, but again, it was a couple bucks for food. But if a glass of soda was $2, I can't imagine what a mixed drink or something cost.
And they said what the beer was $3 for the cup for Samuel Adams.
It could be worse. I've been to concerts where it was $7.
Yeah.
But then again, you get these
bigger. Yeah. These were little cups. They wouldn't even give you the can for the soda.
No.
They would just pour the soda in and give you the cup, and then they would have some left and use it for another one.
But the Rocky Patel party can be kind of fun if you're with a group of people. But we were kind of shifting around, and we talked to a couple of people, and then it was kind of once you've been there before, or it's nothing new. I've been there before. It's not anything I find tremendously exciting. Personally, I find it kind of boring. Because there are cliques everywhere. These small groups of people that know one another are sprinkled throughout around the outdoor area. It's kind of tight quarters. They increased the numbers this year at Cigarfest from 2,500 to 3,000, and it really showed in the parking lot. I've never seen it that bad. I mean, I've seen it really bad before, but never were you not like that.
Yeah, it was all they ran out of tables, and they had like picnic benches and picnic tables out on the sand where the Rocky Patel event was. Well, people just went down and started pulling all these picnic tables and stuff all around to sit at, and they still didn't have enough seating. I mean, it was packed. It was we we went to walk the one way and we couldn't even walk that. I mean, people were just lined up that far on the one side of the bar. We had to go around the other way to even get around. It was just crazy with the amount of people.
So that about covers day one of Cigarfest. So there you have it.
Yep. Day two, we're coming back to your house, Jason.
It was much more comfortable, and yeah, it was really good time. Thanks again, Jason, for all the cigars, the hospitality, the very, very comfortable man cave. Fantastic place, by the way. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that place was a dream. That was great. Gonna have to visit him.
So there you have it. So until next time, happy smoking and all that good stuff.